UTTV presents Cooking on Keto, and here with this week's recipe is your host, Mack Shaw.
Hi, welcome to Cooking with Keto. I'm your host, Mack. Today we're going to be making pizza on a ketogenic diet. Now, a lot of people have probably heard of the keto diet before, but don't really realize exactly what it means. Basically, the goal of the diet is to put your body into what's called ketosis, and you do that by eating none or as few carbs as you possibly can. And carbs take the form of things like grains, like wheat, bread, corn, potatoes, and sugar. And that pretty much covers most of the carbs that are in most of the foods that you eat. So since you're not allowed to have fun on the keto diet, a lot of the process of being on it is trying to, replicate the fun that you used to have back in the good old days when you were allowed to be a fat slob. So what we're going to do is make a keto pizza with a crust that is made out of chicken. So what you use for the chicken is you can use a rotisserie chicken or make your own chicken, or what I like to do is use cans of just this kind of gross looking little chicken chunks. So I went ahead and drained these out. So it's just the chicken in there and not the whatever water stuff is in there. To do that, and then I have these little Chick-fil-A forks here, which is great because they're actually made for chicken specifically. And you want to do your best to kind of just shred up the chunks as well as you possibly can, because obviously you don't want a chunky crust. The chicken's supposed to act as kind of like, I don't know, little threads of weird little chicken fibers that keep the pizza crust from falling apart. Because really, as we all know, the crust of the pizza is only meant to deliver cheese and meat to your mouth. So these really aren't working super great for shredding chicken, which is totally fine because we're all about adversity here and just overcoming our problems in the most graceful way possible. So that's the takeaway from this show. All right. So we did the best we could. So instead of there being chunks, you can see there's kind of just more shredded up little pieces of chicken. And then next you're going to add 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese. So I have a little kitchen scale here, and then it weighs it for you. It says there's 0 ounces because it already took into account what we have on top of it. So you just add exactly 1 ounce of Parmesan. That's crazy. That's exactly how much was in the bag. I totally didn't measure that out before the show. So we do that, and then just kind of mix that together. It's going to be super dry, which is why you take your next ingredient, an egg. We're going to take that off of our all-inclusive pizza plant right here. Yeah, it really doesn't want to come off, and really just one of the most difficult parts of making a keto pizza is just getting the natural adhesive filament off of your plant-based egg, which is fine. It's a little bit more difficult than regular eggs, but it's nice that it comes all in this one nice little package here. So you just crack that into the bowl, and then I'm just going to use 1 fork from now on because I was really trying to go real cool chef style with the 2 forks, and as if I knew what I was doing, but we all know that I don't. So you stir it up just basically until the egg and Parmesan kind of mixes together as best as you can get it. And really it's a lot better if the chicken is shredded up into as tiny of pieces as possible, but since we're using plastic utensils here, it doesn't work super well. All right, so once you have all of that mixed up, you just kind of get it onto your pizza stone, which I always recommend for making pizzas. It just does it better somehow. It's science. And then you spread it out into just kind of a dough formation as best you possibly can. Just a little bit of a pizza crust looking shape right here, circle. And then we're going to pop that in the oven, and when we come back, we're going to decorate it. So.
Normal water bottle fact. The plastic of the average water bottle is composed of takes 450 years to biodegrade. Another fact, 90% of water bottles are thrown away rather than recycled. That means that rather than here, where they belong, they end up here, where they don't. Environ water bottle fact. The plastic our water bottles are comprised of takes as little as 5 years to biodegrade. That means that no matter where they end up, they won't be there for long.
Hi, welcome back to Cooking with Keto. As you can see, in the past 30 seconds, I've been cooking the crust that we made a little while ago, and now it's really a lot more crusty looking. So you can see it's like it all holds together pretty well, which is kind of impressive considering it's just chicken and egg and cheese. So then, obviously, what you do next with a pizza is decorate it so that it tastes better. So what I have here is just kind of a simple can of Hunt's sauce. I really don't know if it's specifically meant for making pizza with, but it has basil and garlic and oregano in it, so I figure that probably tastes pretty good. So I'm going to open that up real fast. All right, and then just kind of get a spoonful of it and just gauge how well that covers the surface of your pizza. Not enough, add a little bit more. So like that. Okay, a little bit more even. And you don't want to have too much sauce. I think sauce is kind of overlooked as far as pizza goes. You know, it can either make your pizza really good or it can make it really garbage. And since we're kind of working uphill by making our pizza out of chicken, you want to get your sauce to pizza ratio, you know, as good as you possibly can. So we're making what's called a margarita style of pizza, which basically means that there's no meat toppings. It's just cheese, and what I'm using here is fresh mozzarella. And you cut that into slices, and then add slices of tomato, and then whole basil leaves. So the other two toppings we're going to get off of our all-inclusive pizza plant right here. But for this one, I pulled what we call an epic gamer move in the business and left a real knife at home. So we're going to try to slice this as best we can with this plastic knife, but you know, we may have to resort to the actual rocking knife that I'm going to use to slice up the pizza. So we're going to see how well this goes. You know what, I'm just going to hold on to it. It's gross, it's slimy, it doesn't feel good. I don't recommend it, but it's delicious. So I'm going to slice that up. Nice. That's not at all what you really like to see, but as close as we can possibly get. Yeah, that's really good and messy. So, you know, when you're in a situation like this, really, what you do is try to avoid uneven pieces of cheese as best you can. And I'm doing a horrible job of it right now, but it's all right. I'm, you know, the only audience that really matters as far as making the food goes, and I forgive myself already. So we're going to go with just a few pieces of cheese here, and then get this out of the way, and pluck a fresh ripe tomato off of our pizza plant, and use the same knife to cut slices of tomato, which again, they're awful, they're misshapen, awkward pieces of tomato, but you know, that's fine, that's okay. We're all about learning here, overcoming adversity, like I said earlier. So you decorate it up really just as best you can, like that there. You get pizza guts all over your tomato guts all over your pizza stone, which is fine. And then you're going to pluck pieces of basil off of your fresh basil plant. It's a little wilted because it's been in a box all day, but you know, you do what you can. Overcoming adversity. That's the big takeaway here. So there you go. All right, so we have a fully decorated keto pizza. Unfortunately, due to budget cuts, we had to get rid of the oven that I used to bake this in between takes. So we can't really melt the cheese or get that nice little, you know, melted cheese look on the pizza. But that's okay. So what we're going to do is take a slice out of this, like that. You use your nice, cool-looking rocker knife that you stole from your mom's kitchen when she wasn't looking. And there you go. You have a slice of keto pizza. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Tell all your friends, and don't do keto because it's really hard.